Maps. Remember these things? When I was a kid, we'd take these long road trips every summer. Dad did most of the driving, Mom did most of the navigating. She'd be in the passenger seat staring at some map, flipping it over, turning it around, trying to figure out where we were on our journey. Of course, today it's a bit easier. With GPS right on our smartphones, we can just type an address into an app, and within seconds, you're routed to your final destination. Some even navigating you around traffic and construction along the way. But no matter whether it's a map or a GPS, at some point on your road trip, you're bound to hear the familiar questions coming from the back seat. Are we there yet? How much longer? Why are we still driving? See, when it comes right down to it, road trips take time. From following directions from a map or GPS, that takes some trust. Because even if it feels like you just made a wrong turn back there, you trust that the directions being given to you will actually get you to the end you have in mind. Sometimes those road trips just seem like they take forever. Like you'll never reach your final destination. And even you're starting to ask, will we ever get there? But before you start breaking the speed limit and get pulled over, just wait. Be patient. You'll get there eventually. Because let's face it, it's not just road trips. Doesn't it seem like we're faced with waiting for something or someone all the time? That's why we're taking this month to discover how we can show patience. Patience is waiting until later for what you want now. And when you're patient, you show that you trust that waiting is better than hurrying to get it done. We're hoping that kids learn the value of delayed gratification, not only with what they're waiting for, but also with themselves as they become more patient. The Bible is full of stories and principles that help us discover the importance of learning how to be patient. Some might even say the entire Bible is a lesson in patience. Not because it takes so long to read from cover to cover, but because often people are seen waiting for God to speak, for the rescuer to arrive. That's why we kick off April with Easter, and the story of the Bible that introduces us to Jesus, his life, his death, and most importantly, his resurrection, a fitting way to celebrate that Jesus is alive. And as we continue learning about patience, we discover a woman who gives us an incredible example of how we can wait well. Hannah has waited for years for a child. Rather than become frustrated and angry towards God, she prays and tells him all about it. And when God answers her prayer, she gives her son back to God. He honors her waiting, and she is blessed with even more children. See, telling God about how you feel about waiting is a great lesson we can all learn about how to show patience. Then in week 3, we'll take a look at what Solomon said about patience. He tells us in Proverbs 14:29, anyone who is patient has great understanding, but anyone who gets angry quickly shows how foolish he is. How we respond to waiting shows others our character. Getting frustrated and angry doesn't make the wait any less. It just makes us look foolish. So when you think you can't wait, don't lose your cool. Next, we'll take a closer look at a story that takes place when the Israelites are at the foot of Mount Sinai. See, instead of obeying God and waiting for Moses to come down off the mountain, the entire nation of Israel grew impatient. They built a golden calf and began to worship it instead of worshiping God. And because of their lack of patience, God judged an entire nation. Kids will learn that when they think they can't wait, it's important to think about what's true. We'll finish the month with one of the best examples of what happens when you're not patient. You lose something of value. It's the story of Esau. See, if you've spent much time working with kids, you know that food is the economy of children. That is why there may be no greater example for patience than that of Esau sacrificing his birthright for a bowl of soup. because Esau was impatient. Because he was focused only on immediate gratification, he lost something that was much more valuable. Kids will discover that when they think they can't wait, they should think twice. And while we're discovering what God has to tell us about patience, we'll be memorizing Psalm 27:14. Wait for the Lord. Be strong. Don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord. Thankfully, we don't have to wait in our own power. Our hope is in God. He will give us the strength to remember that it's worth the wait. Sometimes learning patience is like a long road trip. It doesn't happen in a moment. And becoming a patient person just takes time. As leaders and parents, I think one thing we need to remember during this month as we talk to kids about patience is how important it is for us to be patient with them as they're developing patience. I have a feeling that we're all going to learn a lot about patience this month.